Hello fam. As you might be able to tell, I am just not up on it with the vlogs. Not keeping up, but doing my very best. So today I am sitting on my bedroom floor just so that I can have these books in shot because I love musicals, right? And I am also a writer. And so I have these lyric books. I have two of Steve Sondheim's lyric books, and then I also have this lovely book, Hamilton the Revolution. And I love both of these because they have notes from the creators of these shows, Hamilton, and everything that Steve Sondheim had done up to the point at which these two books were published. And I love looking through them because I think a lot about what it means to write for different mediums. So I really like to write fiction. I love novels, probably are my favorite form of writing. Every time that I sit down to write something, it always ends up being novella or novel length because I like having that amount of time with the characters. I like the format of the novel. But of course, writing can mean writing for lots of different mediums. I mean, you've got, just in print alone, you could be writing novels or short stories or poetry or experimental fiction. I mean, there's a lot of room to do sort of whatever you want, you know? But then you've also got like television writing and film writing and writing plays and then writing musicals. So one of the things that I find really interesting and challenging about writing lyrics for musicals is something that Stephen Sondheim touches on in his introduction to the first of his two lyric books, Finishing the Hat. So in his introduction, he talks about the fact that lyrics are not written to be read, but to be sung. And to be sung, he says, as part of a larger structure, right? And he points out that in theatrical fact, the simpler lyrics are usually the more evocative, more affecting lyrics, which is why the opening lines from Oh, What a Beautiful Morning from Oklahoma are so evocative and beautiful. And to me, that's actually the thing that I think makes R&H shows really stand up, is that the lyrics are simple and are beautifully married to the music. Every time I hear Curly sing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning, oh, what a beautiful day," I mean, I can feel my soul sort of want to like lift out of my body and take flight. That is not an easy thing to do. As my dear Stevie points out, sometimes it's really tempting to write things that are complicated or overly flowery. And I'm not saying that Stephen Sondheim hasn't written some really complex lyrics, because obviously he has. But I think that his point is that, much like in poetry, I think what good poetry does is it takes a particular feeling or situation and it really drills down to the core of it and expresses it as best it can, as simply as it can, right? What makes a really, really great piece of poetry, to me at least, stand out and stick in my brain is when someone manages to summarize in a line a feeling that I might have tried for years to express without any success. My battery's gonna die. So on that note, speaking of what I think good poetry does, I will let you guys all know that my favorite musical, or at least the one that I call my favorite musical, is Sunday in the Park with George. And I like to claim that one as my favorite because it's one that I definitely know isn't the best show that I've ever seen. But it's my favorite because it's the one I think that resonates most deeply with me and has sort of worked its way into being part of my life philosophy, much in the same way that Say Anything is my favorite movie, just because it just lives in my soul. And I think that getting to know that piece of art would help you to understand who I am as a person. So in Sunday, in the second act, when Dot sings Move On, so I quote it all the time, but Dot has that line where she says, "I chose and my world was shaken, so what? The choice may have been mistaken, The choosing was not, you have to move on. And that, the choice may have been mistaken, the choosing was not, just always has stuck in my brain. And I love that. I love how simple that is. And I also love that line in particular because it reminds me of the thing that RNH shows does, the thing that RNH shows do so well, which is to make a really simple rhyme. But of course, conversely, we have Hamilton and we have Lynn, and Lynn absolutely loves his complicated rhyme schemes. And don't get me wrong, I also love me some complicated rhyme schemes. I think the thing that Lynn is doing, well, obviously the thing that Lynn is doing in Hamilton is closer to rap and hip hop because it is rap and hip hop, but I also think that it shares some overlap with slam poetry. If you're familiar with slam poetry at all, especially it reminds me of Shane Koizan, because Shane Koizan loves to do these sort of complicated rhyme schemes where there's a lot of rhyming within the line rather than just at the end of the line, and it's something that I've tried to emulate when I've written slam poetry. But that's a whole, slam poetry is its whole own discussion. I think I just get really excited about the challenges and the opportunities that every new medium provides. And for some reason, it's novels and musical theater that really appeal to me. But I like getting a taste of all different kinds of writing and the way that they play off of each other and interact with one another. All of this to say that I think I take a really writer-centric view of musical theater sometimes, often just because the thing that I have access to is cast recordings and librettos, and so I really do analyze it on a text level, and I sometimes forget the way that that text is interacting with the rest of the show, with music, with performance, with sets and costumes and everything else that makes for a theatrical production. So, any of you that are interested in musical theater, I would be really interested to know what lens you see it through, and like when you say you love theater, what do you really love about it? Because I often find myself really digging into lyrics and music and lyrics, and that's sort of my whole deal. But maybe you're really interested in set design. Maybe you're really interested in the kind of stage magic that makes these fantastic illusions possible. Maybe you're really interested in costumes, or in what it's like for a director, or what it's like for actors, for performers. Maybe you see it through that lens. I see it through a writer's lens. Anyway, I've been rambling long enough. I'll have to find the point of this video in editing, but I hope that you enjoyed some of my enthusiasm. I need to go to bed because well, I didn't waste, but I spent close to an hour flipping through karaoke tracks on YouTube because the Friends in Your Head forum, which is a great place on the internet, recently we started a thread, Teague started a thread about karaoke, and people have been posting awesome karaoke covers of things, and I would like to join them, but I haven't been in a position where I could like sing loudly in my house without disturbing anyone, and I haven't really had time, but that's gonna maybe be a project for this weekend or next weekend. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, babes. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see all of you tomorrow.